Golgotha. Atiku is not coming, not in southern Nigeria. We'll get to that part soon.
When the BAD position already is advanced, what advisory position are you going to give him? That is a insult us. And all of us are here. Our people are here. Not knowing what is happening. You think it is wicked? It is you. It's your children. How can we be here? The chairman and the president candidate or the president will meet. They take a decision. Nobody presents us. Just wait. Pray. Tell them when there you will see. You will just watch. Why are they being so arrogant? Why are they being so arrogant? I can tell you, they are arrogant because they believe somebody in the presidency is backing them. But what they don't understand, the same person in the presidency back somebody as APC presidential aspirant and the person failed. I will tell Nigerians the appropriate time. Who is that person in the presidency that's backing them and being arrogant? You can't be arrogant to us. You can't. You can't be arrogant to what I have. You can be arrogant to what you have. But this one we have, you cannot. So, you people should be careful the way they tell you concoct stories, slant stories. I'm not correct. Every day, Wike. What is we are going to do now? Is we are going to be chairman of the party? We have the chairman of the party. What we are saying, give to the agreement. Agreement is agreement. Agreement is agreement. If now you cannot keep agreement, what will happen then? I will continue to fight this fight. This injustice is enough. We cannot continue to swallow this. We are not looking for anything from anybody. We are not. To the glory of God. We thank God where we are. If God says we'll survive, we'll survive. And He has already said we'll survive. So how will we be slaves? We won't be slaves to anybody. So I thought I should use this period to let people know the whole thing we are talking about. Not that because you don't even understand it. You don't understand it. You don't understand it. But when the election is won, the chairman and the candidate who has emerged are those who will sit down and talk about who takes what goes where. They've already taken who will be Senate president. Which one have they given you? They want to take our vote. Fa. So forget about those hungry people who will never be satisfied. You know, there are people that no matter how they eat, their stomach will go like they can never be satisfied. Those are the people hanging out in Abuja that are looking for. As you see them now, they go to somebody's house, put me in campaign council. What is campaign council? What do we give you? Nothing. So let nobody deceive you and say, must we get the president? We have freed that area. Nobody's talking about that. We are talking about structure of the country. How it should be. That's why in APC, the presidential candidate from where? South. The chairman from where? Because the president candidate must always discuss with the chairman of the party. He must. He must. All over that it has never happened in our party. Where
Let me save you the the trauma of listening to most of his tirade, but they are just pointers. They've had deal with APC, as I have been told. Yeah, they've had deals with APC. In their deals, all of them who have, for example, with Wike, APC in Rivers State, right? Their candidate for governorship and what have you, will not push, or they will not have to push anything in supporting him to take place of Wike's anointed person, right? So he's fine with that. Seyi Makinde has been guaranteed that they won't push much as well if he, pretty much like, you know, the old ways, right? If you are the governor, you probably automatically control those who vote or the largest number of votes or what happened in your state, like the old ways, eh? So they've had a deal with Tifnumbu. But the only problem is that there is a new entrant who has now somehow added a twist to the whole usual 2-horse race you've been experiencing, where it's like choosing between the devil and the deep blue sea, as it has always been. Labour Party, Obi. Now, that Obi's entrance into it, yeah, is somehow adding a flavor to what Wike, I mean, what you would call the Wike's tantrum too. Politically, we are talking politics here, right? Today, if you meet Wike, who once denied his own Igbo heritage, by the way, suddenly remembered he is actually Igbo, and he can ask God to scatter PDP in Jesus' name.
So it is not. So if you have given to Adamawa, you given to Benue, you given to Delta, won't you give rivers? Won't you give rivers? You take, this one take, this one take. What of rivers? What do they take? Just you come and collect vote. Tierra Obara, Tierra Obara, Tierra Obara, Tierra Obara, yes, Jesus, Tierra Obara, Tierra Obara, Tierra Obara, Tierra Obara, Tierra Obara, yes, Jesus, Tierra Obara, Tierra Obara. You know, the goal of confusion will put confusion in them. They think it's reverse they are doing. They are doing themselves. They will see confusion from now to the end until they withdraw and understand that there's no road there. Do you understand me? Come on, Mukandole, wow, Wondale, come on, Mukandole, wow.
Is going home. Ayalabago, Oduduwa is going home.
He's a madman, isn't he? Or, like they say in Yoruba, were dun wo ko she bi lomo. But if your mad son is a governor of oil-rich states, sometimes you may have to just dance with your Were son like that. That's exactly what Were Wike is. He's the most expensive, the most talked about, the most sought after, the most, well, should I say, the richest Were in Nigeria right now. Everybody wants to talk to him. They are appealing to him every now and then. Listen, Were Wike, listen, this or that. It is what it is, isn't it? Prince.
Counter scatter, we are going home. Biafra is going home. Ayalabago, Oduduwa is going
on the
home.
Meanwhile, on the side, Atiku is not losing guard. somehow, there is this Afa Jembe. They call him, they have a name for him in northern Nigeria, but the name, when I interpreted the name, it means that Alaji or Afa Jembe. Jembe. If you're a Yoruba man, you understand. I mean, Atiku is not leaving any stone unturned, because back to sender Odechi from people like Wike.
علي الحاج أتيك أبو بكر رئيس نيجيريا بقدرته وكله وليا ومعينا ومغيثا ونصيرا ربنا اغفر لنا ولوالدينا وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد.
Northerners who know the guy, they should give me his name. I'm reading the comments, by the way. Anything that God, Jesus should scatter them, everything from Wike or they, she, they. The point I'm trying to make here is this: let everybody make fool of themselves. Let everybody act like they are so wise and they understand Nigeria very well. Only when you get to that point of your reality and you scream out and say, well, hey, people, do you see what Nigeria is doing? There's no justice here. Alaye, we have known it from the time immemorial that there is no justice. That's the reason why everything happening in Nigeria today, that's why they're happening. No justice, no equality, no equity. Impunity everywhere. You know that. We know that. We know them from every scale of our society, and those of you are benefiting from them. Now, when people gather and say, no, we reject this, what do? The beneficiaries? You ordered your soldiers to shoot them, only for you to then start screaming injustice, injustice, injustice from the people who are actually beneficiaries of the same injustice. Come on, man. We have been there before. We are no longer moved. I'm not moved. However, I love the twist. Today, I was scooping the internet, yeah? As you know, okay, before now, we used to say it here. No matter what you say about Nigeria, no matter how much you try to, in your own words, right, educate Nigerians, as if to say they don't know what they do. They know what they do. They say no matter how much you try to educate Nigerians, when their election is coming, they are ready to go and queue to collect 500 naira to gather under the sun and sing the praises of their own criminal leaders. That's what we expected anyway. And usually we know the more reason why politicians in Nigeria continue to loot you dry, like blind, is because they needed to loot as much as possible, push as many of you as possible into poverty so that they can buy back some level of, loyalty from you. You will need some of what they have to offer, 500 naira, 1,000 naira, from campaign time up till the election day, where you begin to demand for 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 before you give them your future, right? So those have been the ways of how you do things until, I don't know, Obi and his people, they brought a twist into it. Now, everywhere you turn, you see thousands of people, right? Well, should I say thousands of younger people who are saying, well, they are giving it a last shot. They are no longer going to queue behind the traditional way of how they have been enslaved over time. Now, that's something that usually you will rub aside and say, they are just this. Me, I see them as your karma, even though I don't believe in karma. I see them as the twist that will eventually out the establishment who have become so comfortable enough that you can cry from now till tomorrow. They will continue to recook the same lie again and again and again and again for you every now and then until now. And don't let us ignore, don't let us ignore the happenings as well. They are not ignoring them. According to the Ebonyi governor, who was at the villa earlier, I think it was today or yesterday, I don't care, but he had this to say on the phenomenon going on in your political space as we speak. And I'll show you some videos I pick up on social media earlier. Umayi, Devil Umayi, had this to say on what is going on as well.
what happened during the primaries of PDP and APC, were kind of miscalculation by people. But to say whether they are ready for the presidency of the country anytime, I think that the movement of P2B is an eyes opener, and that's why I said I love what he's doing. I'm encouraged by what he's doing, because if he's not doing what he's doing, it means that Southeast would have been forgotten. So while my party takes the victory, he has prepared, he would have prepared a very good ground for the Southeast presidency, so that nobody is going to write us off, and you can see the level of his acceptability, which does not translate to victory over APC. As a party man, I would wish that our party wins, and if God says no, the next person I wish that should win, is P2B, because I believe strongly, and I will say it anyway, in this North-South, presidency. After the North has taken 8 years, there is no moral justification to be seeking to take another 8 years. It should go to the South. And so I support, this. And I'm not wishing P2B away. God has the final say.
Anyway, here is the point. They, as according to those who are like, put it this way, the social media political pundits, it's a good thing for APC, Egbekegbe, if Obi can help them reduce what they said would have been PDP votes. However, to PDP, it is a good thing that those who are at the forefront of Obi, this or that, they are mostly Southerners, which means they will help them ruin the chances of Tifnumbu. But if you ask me, Mayegun, what do you think? Me, I am waiting to scrap from the explosion that the entire thing is going to bring. Because the old twist here is this. You can no longer say PDP, APC, as they have signed off on us. You can no longer say they are completely safe if you have been monitoring their reaction. In the long run, this is what I envisaged. And please remember, piece all of these pieces together yourself, and you can reach your own conclusion as well. It's up to you. But when you ask me, this is what I have seen. If you manage, if you, especially the obedient, if you manage to push and push and push as you are right now, which I think, I don't really see if that's going to ever reduce with what I have seen. If you now push and push and push and you push it towards January, and it becomes more than what they are, then that simply means they would have to re-strategize. You know why? It is not because you want to make Obi president. There is more to it, of them losing that power that way. In Nigeria, they have always been, the owners of Nigeria have always been the architects of how and ways. They have been the writers of the workbook of how, of the workbook of how you are going to end. If you run to the left, you are trapped. If you run to the right, you are trapped. If you run to the front or back, you are trapped. Wherever you are, they are everywhere. Just like that of Obi. And that twist there is that for those who have committed more criminal acts in the history of Nigeria, APC, Egbekegbe, and they would want their track covered by those who have been in the business of covering track. Your effort in shifting their status quo will either push them, right, to act in a way of desperation, which is what I am praying for. When you push them to act in desperation, right, you know their ways. They will rig you, they will hunt you, they will, do whatever they want to do. And at the end of the day, you wriggle through all of that, and they are about to lose the power. Then that's the moment they can begin to act abnormally. frustrated. Now, that moment they're acting frustrated, they will make mistake. In their ways of making mistake, they will lose control. Once they lose control, that's it. You will see through their fear. And you know what will happen? They won't want to give up. And you will see through their vulnerability too. Guess what? The implosion they have been avoiding, the ones they have been stockpiling weapons for, it will happen just like that. And somebody like me will likely become your new Nicodemus. Nicodemus that says, be prepared for the aftermath of all of their schemes. It has come to the head. It has come to a stage whereby to lose control is just a short away. Even if you don't understand what I've just said, just pay attention. The young people using the same, templates of NSAS, mobilizing themselves, they have now been the engine room that Obi is sort of riding on right now. In Taraba, in Enugu, in Akure, there are clips sent to me earlier today. One of them is this. Now, they talk more about them these days. But when I look at them as the time bomb that is going to redefine what the owners of Nigeria felt like they have sort of pocketed forever. Like something you've that's done. Let people do whatever they want to do. I am not saying that Obi is going to come and win. But I believe that if you push it long enough, even you will see through why Obi can be your president, even though if you push it through. And at that point, you are likely never going to accept a no for an answer, especially the last part, Southern Nigeria. All of you understood it very well. At that point, you will not be able to take a no for an answer. And that's the moment we have been waiting for. How that play out is going to determine if Nigeria is going to exist again or not. Listen to this. Somebody sent this from Akure, I think. Now, I am waiting for what it's going to be like when they really show up. I'm counting days as well. And I'm counting days as well for the implosion. Somebody sent this from Enugu. Now, the last time we saw this kind of gatherings, especially in southern Nigeria, be sincere, was when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu returned back to Biafra land. That was when you could see crowd that tripled this, doubled this, all over Biafra land. That's been a long time. Somehow, Obi is pulling that now. The last person that put such crowd as well in southern Nigeria, genuine one, where people are not bought or paid to come out and show up for that solidarity kind of a thing, was Oloye Sunday Igboho in Yoruba land as well. Politicians would never pull such without having to bribe people to come out and show up for that such solidarity. But guess what? The people that put that originality on our land back then, today, one is exiled, the other is locked up illegally and being denied every legal representation or justice that is pushing more people to say, no, I don't want to be part of this anymore. But guess what? The genesis of those who campaigned openly, defended terrorists openly, and they campaigned openly that the government of Nigeria should kill those who rejected the Fulani terrorism. which has more or less divided Nigeria more than anything else. Today, a flashback, just for your sake, when we talk about those who pull crowd and why they did pull crowd, and those who indeed supported, promoted terrorists, defended them, who are still walking about today. I mean, this was like over a year ago. It's still fresh. Just listen to the words of this man.
Sheikh, critics would ask you the question, how much is the cows and cattle contributing to the Nigerian economy? That will warrant a group of persons who feel their cattle have been rustled by criminals, and not by state actors, but by criminals who take up arms against fellow citizens who are suffering the same problem they're going through.
Yes, maybe about, I can say maybe 10% of the herders are the criminals, but 90% in the end, they took up weapons to protect themselves from extinction. This is the truth I'm telling you about. 90%, that's why they are ready. One, to lay down their arms. Two, they themselves, they can take care of the little remnants of the band of the criminals among them, because they don't want anybody to bring mayhem to them. So I think if there is a general amnesty, they are going to lay down their arms. They told us they are ready. So when somebody says ready to lay down his arms, you are saying no, you should not. You should continue fighting. And when they fight, they are the ones that are inflicting injury and inflicting harm to people. That you don't have there the military and the police to protect you. So I don't know what the logic we're using now. And let me give you an example of what people don't know about the Fulani. Look at what is happening in Ibadan. What is happening in Ibadan? Suddenly the Yorubas in Ibadan, not all of them, suddenly some few Yorubas in Ibadan decided to attack Hausas. Why? Because I don't know, whatever it is, they say Hausa, you see injustice going on without doing anything. If people who are supposed to be educated, who have schools, who have roads, who have any amenities of the government, can use, can suddenly attack innocent people they had been together with innocently because some other people did something. What do you expect somebody in the bush who's never schooled, who's never anything? So the Fulani herdsmen are fighting based on ethnic and tribal affiliations, just like the Yorubas are doing now in the south. In the south, the same thing, the same mentality. So Nigerians, whether educated or not educated, we need really to have another national orientation to see that how we live as a nation.
All right, Sheikh, as someone who has been in this conflict resolution advocacy for a long time now, do you think it is sustainable to continue to negotiate and, of course, grant amnesty to those who take up arms against the government and, of course, killing arbitrarily, sacking people from their farms and, of course, involved in all kinds of crime and criminality? Won't this kind of development send wrong signals to criminal-minded elements in other parts of the country who may be tempted to also take up arms against the states to draw government's attention to their plight?
No, it's not possible to have another group just like the herdsmen have, because the herdsmen, they are conditioned by the environment they live to resist.
Sheikh, we had the Niger Delta crisis many years ago, and in 2009 amnesty was granted. Not too long ago, I think within that same year, the issue of terrorism, which we are still battling, emerged in Borno State, and now we are having the problem of banditry. What's the guarantee that we will not have another kind or another dimension to this crisis from another region of the country?
Yes, well, the guarantee we have is that the Boko Haram are using the Sambisa forest as a castle, as a sanctuary for them. And the Fulani herdsmen are using the various forests in the northern states as a, sanctuary for them. And the creeks is for the Niger Delta. Besides that, you don't have anywhere for criminals to hide. So once we get the Fulani to play down their arm, and then we can be able to man our forest and protect it from any other group from taking it over, I think it will be over. And in fact, as I've said, the Niger Deltas were protecting the pipelines. This Fulani, the good ones, can protect our forests, and I'm sure they can do it.
Sheikh Gumi, you said that earlier that the bandits who are now kidnapping people and committing all sorts of crimes learned their kidnapping from the Niger Delta militants because they did that some years back.
Yes, it's not, you see, behavior, social behavior is learned by induction. It's not when you see that other people are doing something and are getting profit from it, you will definitely do it.
But Sheikh, you've also said that you've also said that these people are stark illiterate and really ignorant about what's going on around them. How would they learn such vices from faraway places like the Niger Delta?
No, when I'm saying they're ignorant, they have their trip to the south. You see, the Fulani man, when he goes into the south, like the ones they have been driven away, people have seen their change in behavior. They start drinking alcohol, they try taking drugs and all these things, which they don't do in the north because their parents are there. So it's actually when they change their, what do you call it, behavior, it is when they have this migration. And it's a particular age range. Those who are the cattle rearers, when they leave their young offsprings in the north, or the older ones, you don't have this behavior in them at all. Even as I'm talking of now, it's a small range group of youth that are involved in this kidnapping. And we see how we are talking with them, and they are ready to stop this way. So I don't see the logic why there should be any argument about negotiating with them at all. I don't see.
Sheikh, you've also said these people were driven into committing these crimes because of socio-economic factors. If there were, you said there were herdsmen doing genuine jobs and their cattle were rustled, they didn't have any money, they were forced into a life of crime. If there were in that socio-economic material situation which they couldn't sustain their businesses anymore, how then did they have money to buy these sophisticated combat weapons we've seen with them?
That's a very good question for you. That's why they are kidnapping. That's why they are treating their victims inhumanly. They are extorting people to get money to buy weapons more and more.
But they must get weapons. They must get weapons to commit the crimes in the first place.
No.
So the weapons comes first before the crime.
No. They get with weapons to protect them. Look, when they go into towns, they are lynched. They don't go into towns. They don't go into markets. So how do they get their money to protect themselves from the incursion of the military? Is to in the night they go out and kidnap rich people to get money to buy the weapons. Now what I heard even from one victim of them, when he was able to pay his money, they said, yes, we are collecting this money to buy anti-aircraft missiles.
All right.
So you can imagine. We are putting pressure on a group of people which we can use other methods, kinetic methods to palliate the issue, but we are not doing what we are supposed to do.
All right.
He hasn't left Nigeria. Maybe that is why instead of arresting Gumi, the person arrested is this man. He's a publisher of a newspaper in Abuja. But guess what? He became the negotiator. In the clip I showed, you just watched, you probably saw him in one of the pictures with the terrorist that Gumi was meeting. He happened to be the head to Gumi. His name is Tukor Mamu. Okay, he's a terrorist negotiator, as you can see. He's involved in negotiating for the freedom of kidnapped Abuja Kaduna rail victims or passengers, right? Now, he was arrested in Cairo on a request from Nigeria that even though he's a negotiator, he's a newspaper publisher, he's aide to Sheikh Gumi, the guy himself has all the traces of terrorism. When they searched his property, I don't want to 100% believe them because they did the same thing to everyone else, but what they said they found, in a way, I have to let you know. Guess what they said? When they searched his house, they found different, put it this way, different kind of currencies in a very high, amount, so to say. They found foreign currencies. They have found Nigeria currencies in millions of their worth as well. They found guns. They found, tracts, writings, articles, and things that are indeed, drafted for act of terrorism. So many things they found that required them to say they were looking for him. He's been arrested now. But one thing is this, like the Jibwis, the Jibwis, the ones with Bokuwari, they have another name. I don't remember that right away. When I do, I'll tell you. They have been the ones, right, in the government of Bokuwari shielding the terrorists who are now kings, princes, and maybe princesses in Nigeria today. Untouchable. That guy that got arrested is a friend to those who probably are planning to come and rescue you today, including the man that said he will be in charge of security. Look at him on the right, the guy on the right. Now, that is Shitty Man, Sheikh Osama bin Gumi, and Tukor Mamu, as well as Atiku on your left. So whichever way you jump to, whichever one that pops up, you are toast. I keep saying that. And these and more are the reasons why people are saying we know the culpability of those in charge of Nigeria. We know the involvement of those who want to be in charge of Nigeria. Why can't you just save us all of this mess? Save us from all this death. Let's save ourselves and call it quits. Something that these rogues are telling you it doesn't really matter. When these guys will begin to meet, why did I use the word begin? I mean, when these guys now have the authorization to be in charge of your security, whether na Atiku, you are done for, whether na Shitty Man, which is going to be in charge of your country, as the man that they are putting as your possibility, Tifnumbu. Somebody said they have even removed his cap. I remember when people were saying nobody can remove that cap from Tifnumbu's head. They say to say you want to be Nigeria's president, not joke. You go even remove your pampas, remove everything. If they want you to walk naked, you walk naked. However, that man on his should I say on his left, or on the right of my own screen anyway, is the Shitty Man, the friends of those who are in charge of the booming terrorism industry in Nigeria. Terrorist negotiators are even rich. Maybe you don't know. Their negotiators are also involved in helping them to launder the proceeds of kidnapping, ransom that people paid. So the terrorists are in the forest. Their negotiators are their contacts with the rest of the world when they need guns, when they need anti-rocket launcher. Anti-aircraft rocket launcher. I'll be waiting to call them. It is their contact outside. And in the case of Nigeria, because of one Nigeria, now we can have terrorists in charge of our safety. Something I'm like, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I just feel like saying, hey, help us, we are done for. Any way you turn. Now they want you to turn to prayer warriors. Start praying for something that they are already programming you to validate. So if you have anything at all to say or anything at all to do, please just say, hey, God, save me from myself and the choices I make, especially coming to the issue of Nigeria. That's not a joke. Because every choice we make, like Wike put it, when the consequences comes back, it is not limited to those who make those choices or defend them. It is left for all of us to share in the brunt of it. You know that? So if the politicians in southern Nigeria who wanted to play the national politics, lying to their people that Nigeria will be great, especially when we continue to be part of something that you know it. One of the things that people actually hate about the British, so to be sincere, is the forceful creation of a contraption called Nigeria and then handed it over to those they trained. I found out they intentionally trained the few educated northerners at the time to be aristocrats. You know, like, you know what, you've got nothing to offer, right? But we can let you train a few of you, okay, to know how to own power and maintain it for generations to come. Some people said that, but I keep telling you, I am not going to be one of those playing the victim game. My own forebearers played it. Our parents possibly played the same victim game or victim card. You don't want your own children to play the victim card as well, do you? Yeah. If we have any reason why we are where we are today, it is because we condone the rogues, the criminals who continue to lie to you. That somehow, there's something after this madness of Nigeria, and they will unravel it. They will discover it, and it's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit me. The lies they have been telling you, the one I'm saying categorically right now, that you can stop believing those lies, and you can begin to believe the reality. And that reality is this: if we continue to be part of this contraption for the sake and benefit of minute few among us, we will continue to pay the price of our own collusion and support, which is, put it this way, our own, and you can call us enablers. I'm using the general now, okay? Say all of us enablers, because we are the sharers in the choices we make, by the way. We are. But the truth is this: when we finally come to that time that we are doing ourselves no favor, nothing good, in believing these criminals who, after getting their fingers burnt, that is when they remember that they actually come from somewhere. They are Igbos, they are Yorubas, they are Southerners, or they are Christians, or they are Muslims, or they are this or that. Only when they get their fingers burnt, that they want you to pick sides. In most cases, you pick their sides, and that is how you give them another lifeline. That lifeline you give to them is what they enjoy, and they will love to last longer for generations to come. But what is it they are giving back to you? The Nigeria of agony, injustice, inequality, poverty, corruption, now terrorism. That's what you have to deal with. That is what you have to tell your children to learn how to live with. Even when politician tells you they have it figured out, they will fix it. But guess what? Every 4 years, they will subject and continue to subject your own offspring, your children, to something like this. Something I'm so angry. And I'm so angry that if I should ever dream of this for my own children, then I have failed. If you are a parent, do you actually really want your own children to end up like this, in that contraption that the politicians only built or kept for themselves? And those who are theirs, I will be heartbreaking if my own children ended up like this.
Go wash your hands. Wash your hands next time. Wash your hands because of non-negotiable. Wash your hands clean.
Now, like I said, the choice is yours. I can't in any way make the choices for you. But I can tell you in my usual way that when you make those choices, please don't make them out of, well, I didn't know. You do know. And if you didn't, now you do. So when you make those choices, you should be man enough or woman enough to also own the responsibilities or the consequences that comes with that. We are all in it together. Mock those who have seen the light and asking to break out of this old dark and darker cloud that they have intentionally maintained over all of us. Mock them, laugh them, but somehow, I am so sure and certain, the same characters that are pushing you to mock them, they are also going to witness when you will turn against them in no distant future. They will make you do it. It is what is expected to happen. A greed has its own breaking points, right? When the whole space can no longer contain the amount of the greedy people who are descendants of their greedy ancestors, Nigeria. Therefore, you expect the entire glass house to crack. Nigeria will make you do that. I am just here to keep the record as the diary, just like always. I'll stop here. I think I should take calls. Let me listen to people's add-on to this as well. If you really want to be part of this, you can pick up your phone right now, and if you call in, you will be speaking to me. Let me see what your own thing or your own saying is on this tonight. Before we proceed, I'll take calls after this break.
Oyedu Icon. Oyedu Icon. Omeriwo n'Izu. Olile ya. Abakare. Mama Bawora. Unapori meri nandi. Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's a three. Unapori meri nandi. Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's a three. Unapori meri nandi. Nandi bu Oyedu Icon. Omeriwo n'Izu. Miroya. Abakare. Mama Ndamura. Unapori meri nandi. Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's a three. Unapori meri nandi. Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's a three. Unapori meri nandi. Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python